What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris, and I have an epic video for you guys today. I have caught Chris Stinkfoot and former PI Stiff Fish Sticks completely lying about a guy allegedly taking out his trash can at 3 a.m. with a flashlight. I have the evidence to prove it. It is absolutely terrible that they're trying to do this, but please stay until the end. This will be epic.
The one looks like it's running down or something. That was actually the gentleman taking his trash can to the street. He has already admitted to that. There was no vehicle.
Most of you that have followed the Sebastian Rogers case should have seen or heard about the 3 a.m. lights video. I have done many live shows and videos breaking down to my best ability on what I believe is going on. What some may not know is that back around December of 2024, shortly after PI Fish Sticks was hired, a team including Clue, Cletus, and others went to recreate the 3 a.m. lights by going to location of home that had the camera and conducted what you would call a control test. But their control test ended up being a complete failure, biased, and they used this to spin a giant lie that I will prove. And how this statement by Chris Stinkfeet is an absolute lie.
The one looks like it's running down or something. That was actually the gentleman taking his trash can to the street. He has already admitted to that.
So here's the backstory on how this all started. Early winter of December 2024, Clue's live show after they did 3 a.m. light experiment.
At all. It was 15 effing degrees out when they did this. Like, I'm just saying hats off to them. I told them where the camera should be looking, but that was the extent of my recreation. I told them move it to the left. They moved it to the left. It worked. It was perfect. Like, I mean, you could not, I don't know how you did that, but you legitimately could not have lined that up any better.
Because a few, me and him were sitting there like, is that right? Is that right? I don't know. Let's try this. I mean, we literally tried it, half a dozen times. Like, I walked my ass off trying to, we'd recreate something and be like, no, I think that camera needs to turn a little bit this way. And we'd do it and recreate it again and be like, no, I think it needs to turn a little bit this way.
Notice how you hear them. Keep saying, move to the left, more to the left. That's because they are trying to claim the angle in which the camera is facing was towards the left of the home or west of it. In this next clip, they explain more about the alleged camera field of view.
Is that the original footage everybody's been looking at, they put those two lights to the left, and that's not possible. Go to the next one. So if you look at that, right, the original field of view, from the right edge, you got to go about 20 degrees to get to those two lights. All right, which leaves 40 degrees from the wall, right? So go to the next one. So when we draw a 40-degree angle from that wall, we get an entirely different house, right? So at the end of the day, 40 degrees from that wall cannot be 1006 Stafford, which means that what everybody's been chasing as flashlights or whatever the hell cannot be coming from the back of Chris and Katie and Sebastian's house because it's not even in the field of view.
Notice how they want to make it very clear that this camera and 3 a.m. lights cannot come from behind the Proudfoot's home. Keep in mind the Proudfeet have hired Fish Sticks and they are all working together. This entire experiment will come full circle on how I caught them all lying. Here, they actually debunked themselves and didn't even realize it. Honestly, it's pretty embarrassing.
The two lights that you see in the middle there that the arrow is pointing to are actually landscape lights on another house in the subdivision. Go to the next one.
And just wait, because we did do a recreation video and it is legitimately spot on. You're gonna see it.
Notice how they have their 40-degree line cutting right through the landscape lights, but clearly they didn't take a closer look at how their top-down view, the right 40-degree line, doesn't line up. Those lights would be to the left, almost in the center. This is what happens when you're not in it for the truth and what to create a false narrative. But this will all come full circle. So now comes the giant lie and how it all began. So here in this clip was the second part of their recreation, where allegedly Cletus or someone a part of their team is walking down this neighbor's driveway with a flashlight moving down to the right. This was to recreate the action that happened on the original 3 a.m. video. He then appears to be moving to the left, down the Stafford Road. But there is a huge problem with their recreation. Do you notice how much that his flashlight appears to be strobing off and on? And no, this isn't Morse code, and no, he does not have a strobe light. It's much worse and completely embarrassing, and I'll explain in the end. All of it will be the foundation of the giant lie in which they were caught telling. Shortly after that experiment, Fish Sticks was asked about their work. Notice his enthusiastic reaction and what he says.
You guys come up here and you get so quiet.
You guys did a great job with that recreation. Really did. That thing helped a lot.
Yeah.
What people should know too is that you guys did that multiple times to get it right, just to tweak it. You guys been out there a couple nights in a row. That was awesome.
Well, to me, there's nothing better than the ability to do that, right? Because I think everyone questions, like, I mean, could it be someone coming down there? Could it be? But the problem is the angle is just not right at all.
Not for where people were saying that things would come from. You know, like we can pretty much take out that backyard area. You know, it's not a common area. I know it's called a common area, but it's not a common area. Take that out, you know, and it makes more sense what we're looking at. Now, I don't think anybody wants to definitively say, I mean, I'm not speaking for anybody else, but I can't definitively say what exactly every single movie, you know, twinkling light is or whatever, but we have a much better idea of what paths there would be and whatnot.
This live show was done in December of 2024, with the recreation test they did happened shortly before that. Notice how they want to push the narrative that the lights and camera angle are not coming from the common area. Now let's listen to Fish Stick's interview, just over a month later, just upon the 1-year anniversary of Sebastian's disappearance and what Fish Sticks now claims.
So what the AI was telling us is that one of them was just anchored, and the other was moving and was very likely a flashlight, which gave us a lot of hope that maybe that was Sebastian. And then it was just kind of like dumb luck. As they're doing this test, the cameras are rolling, and a light starts moving across the monitor, and it's a guy taking his trash down and his trash can down from an elevated driveway. And I was not there, but the rest of the people went and talked to him, and he said that morning that he had forgotten to take his trash out, and he had heard the trash trucks, and with a flashlight took his garbage can, wheeled it down to the curb, and so that we believe, can't say for certain, we believe that's much more likely. That's probably what that light is. But right. I definitely do not. I know that's not. They'll never convince me that was a trash truck for sure.
So here is when Fish Sticks conveniently mentions that while they were doing the recreation, a neighbor allegedly came out with a flashlight and took his trash out. Then they claim they spoke with him, and this neighbor admitted to taking out the trash can the night Sebastian went missing. He even claims they have this on camera. Yet, when they talked about their recreation back in December, they never mentioned this huge detail. That's because Fish Sticks allegedly used their own recreation to lie about seeing the neighbor and speaking to him. Now let's come full circle, and let's listen to Mr. Stinkfeet, where he now mentions on a live show about this new revelation. Trust me when I say I'm going to embarrass them.
Lights at 3 a.m. and was there a car?
I'm taking this as in reference to the Mob Cruise video.
Yeah, the one he's done 157,216 times.
To go ahead and tell you that, the one lights and the time on the videos are actually wrong. Law enforcement has confirmed that. The one looks like it's running down or something. That was actually the gentleman taking his trash can to the street. He has already admitted to that. That was actually the gentleman taking his trash can to the street. He has already admitted to that.
Now, you don't think they, Crispy, Fish Sticks, and their team would stoop low enough to claim that their own video and recreation and pass that off as the neighbor taking his trash can with a flashlight, right? They certainly wouldn't lie about speaking to this neighbor. Well, this is what happens when you get caught lying, allegedly about Sebastian Rogers and this neighbor with the lights. Time to embarrass all of you. Now, the 3 a.m. lights are coming from this common area right here, but they are claiming that the 3 a.m. lights, especially subject number 2, is coming from this home with the steep driveway. But there is a big issue with this. Do you see it? Let's go to the ground view and take a closer look. I wonder why when we compare the two videos. Cletus and Crew's recreation video shows a light that seems to be blinking off and on. I wonder why it doesn't compare to the original light video. Well, it's pretty simple actually when you take the time to do a little research. Here is me showing the angle and direction they're claiming the lights are coming from. Do you see the problem? I wonder why Blinky McBlinker appears to be walking with a strobe light, or trying to do Morse code with his flashlight. I wonder what could be causing that issue. Could it be caused by the 8+ trees that are scattered throughout the 2 yards that would be causing this issue? Yes, that's right. The reason their recreation doesn't work is because the lights would be blocked by all these trees. Even in the fall, all the trees and the branches attached to them would cause this effect. But in the original Subject 2, hardly blinks. That's because there are less objects blocking the lights, likely coming from the common area where there are less objects. Imagine certain family members hiring a team and they all allegedly lied about this neighbor and the lights. Ask yourself, why would they do that? How does this help find Sebastian Rogers?
There was no vehicle. There was no vehicle.
My effing ask Mr. Stinkfoot, you liar. Please share your comments down below, please share this video, smash the like button, and please help me reach my goal of 100K subscribers by hitting those buttons. And thank you so much for watching.